Hey people of YouTube, what's up? It's the F-Man back here. Instead of doing a review, I'm going to do a theory. We all remember the TV show Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, that classic TV show about a young man who accomplished so much things at a young age. Well, we all would want to forget the spin-off Planet Sheen. Now, I'm not going to trash on Planet Sheen. I don't hate it, but at the same time, I don't love it. All right. But here, I'm only here to talk about a theory. And before you ask, it's never going to be like these two theories. It's going to be similar to this theory. See the one my finger isn't blocking? It's going to be similar to this one. And sorry, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not stealing your work here. I'm just proving a fact. Because let's just get one thing straight. Of course, Jimmy would never kill Sheen for Libby. Wait, was her name Libby? We all know that Jimmy has a thing for Cindy. It's confirmed in the TV show, It's confirmed. Alright? Now, we all know that TV show, alright? So, yeah, the theory is going to be similar to this dude's theory. Okay, let's just get one thing straight. This theory is going to have spoilers in it, of course. So, yeah. Here's what I think what really happened. Jimmy was finishing up a rocket. And I know what you're thinking, why would Jimmy need a rocket even though he's already got that thing? Well, what do you expect? It must be old, and plus Jimmy must be growing up. He got that thing from a fair. It's one of those put a quarter in a mechanical rocket thing. I've only seen it in amusement parks and TV shows. All right. So yeah. So he must be growing older, which means he's going to be taller, and he's going to be too old to be exploring on that rocket. So of course he's going to, fix up a rocket on his own. But he was going to finish off the rocket, but then he found Sheen's Ultra Lord card. But he knows that he needed to get some important stuff, so he called Sheen, told him he got his card, yada yada yada, all that stuff happens. Now, I know one thing, and why did Jimmy leave a note that Sheen is obviously going to ignore? Well, what do you expect? Even brilliant minds like Jimmy sometimes make mistakes. It was just a little mistake. You see, not all geniuses make mistakes. I'm sure that even Einstein or Stephen Hawking once accidentally made a mistake. And don't get offended. I'm a fan of Einstein and Stephen Hawking. But I bet even they sometimes made mistakes before in the past. Like you remembered in the Jimmy Neutron movie where he told Sheen to build a rocket. It ain't rocket science, but then he quickly realized, oh wait, it kind of is. Yeah, even brilliant minds like Jimmy can make mistakes. And plus, Jimmy's just a kid. So it's obvious that sometimes, even at a young age, sometimes brilliant minds like him can make mistakes. So here's what I think what really happened. And yes, it is going to be similar to him, so please don't sue me. But this is the right theory. So the rocket did crash to the roof. I'm sure at first Jimmy was going to set it outside. He just had to finish it inside. Seriously, if any burglars or Jimmy's enemies were going to come past, and they were probably going to notice that rocket and be like, ooh, a rocket, we could sell it or steal it to ruin Jimmy's reputation or something, if it was a burglar or a villain. So I'm sure Jimmy was going to set the rocket outside once he was done with it, alright? So Sheen did blast off, but not to outside to space, to the roof. And then Jimmy quickly got back and realized the fire in his basement garage or whatever his thing is called. And then Jimmy told got her, his robot dog, to put out the fire, and he did. But he realized Sheen was still in there. So now Sheen is in a hospital, fighting for his life, in a coma. I mean, look at this character. He so obviously looks like this character, because it's probably his conscience recreation of the real Coral. I guess you were right. The YouTuber who made this theory, I guess you were half right. And I guess this character is supposed to represent Libby. Sort of, alright? Look, theories are just theories, alright? Right? They're just theories to make people go crazy, thinking that could be the real thing. And yes, this cloak guy that you called it in your theory is a recreation of Death, which Sheen is fighting for his life. Oh, by the way, his real name is Dorcas. Oh, and it also begins with a D, like Death. Blew your mind, didn't I? Yeah, and you know in like every episode where Sheen is battling with Dorcas, what if that's the real Death trying to actually kill Sheen? But Sheen is just, being Sheen, fighting for his life. In every episode, Sheen remains victorious and Death is defeated. And Jimmy is the monkey, or chimp, or whatever he is. Now, before you all be typing in your little comments saying that he's not the monkey, hear me out. What does this monkey have in common with Sheen? Getting home, back to planet Earth. And what do we all know about him? That he tries to fix the rocket and making a rocket, just like Jimmy. Hell, if you ask me, I feel like it's a monkey version of Jimmy. You ever heard about evolution? Well, if Sheen's mind recreated a slug version of Coral, then I bet you he created a monkey version of Jimmy. And I know what you're thinking, then how come he doesn't sound the same? I don't know. I mean, it's probably because, he's got a different voice, is because he's more smarter. I heard off Ninjago, when you get wiser, you get older. So it's obvious that when Jimmy gets really smart, Stephen Hawking and Einstein smart, of course your voice would sound like this guy's voice, mature and So in every episode where he's fixing the rocket, it's probably Jimmy trying to find a way to bring Sheen back to fix the mistake that Jimmy made. In every episode, this guy is fixing the rocket, while the real Jimmy, aka this guy, is bringing Sheen back to them. And I know what you're thinking. I mean, you can honestly 100% tell the entire show takes place in Sheen's head is because, you ever heard of My Name is Earl? Well, spoiler alert, in season 3 when Earl gets hit by a car, he goes into a coma, like Sheen, in my theory, and he recreates a show called The Hickeys, like Sheen. So I'm saying that if Earl Hickey, aka Jason Lead, did I say that right? Hoping I did. Made a show in his head, when he was in a coma, recreating an entire spin-off show. Oh, then how come Sheen can't do the entire thing? Don't you all get it? The entire show does take place in Sheen's head. And like you said on your theory, I guess it really is a planet Sheen. And because while Dorcas, aka Death, is trying to kill Sheen in every episode, and Sheen remains victorious, and while she represents Libby, the slug represents Coral, and the monkey represents Sheen. Jimmy. It represents Jimmy. And why would he be as a chimp? Well, have you ever heard of evolution? If they changed Coral into a slug, no kidding if they turned Jimmy into a chimp. And for obvious reasons. Get this. You know how that when sometimes an opposite like reality or something. Well, Jimmy's all about brains and smartness, and it just changes to like evolution. I mean, you first start off as a fish, and then you start off as something else, then you start off as a chimp, then you start off as a man, That's how evolution works. Start off as little fishies, chimp, then man. I mean, there's a few other creatures after chimp and before chimp. And what I'm saying is, this is actually Jimmy, and he's trying to save Sheen by recreating the rocket. If Sheen gets off the planet, maybe he can come back to reality. Trust me, I'm already working on it, on Captain Underpants in Captain Underpants Saves Planet Sheen part... Wait, was it 3 or part 2? I'm trying to start a bit of a trilogy. Yeah, because trust me, my theory is going to become fact when I finish off my comic book. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, fact to you. Yeah, fact to me. But at least I don't think that Jimmy was trying to kill his best friend in the whole world. Because it's stated in the show that Jimmy has a thing for Sydney. Sure they don't seem like they do, but the truth is they do. Dude, watch the actual show instead of actually watching the ones with Baldy in it. Baldy, he's funny. What I'm trying to say is he represents death. She represents the blue girl. He represents Carl. And the monkey represents Jimmy. Every episode, making the ship, Jimmy's trying to save his best friend by using science. Well, that's my theory. I know it seemed similar to this guy's theory, but it actually made more sense than Jimmy trying to kill his best friend. And now, don't get offended. Please don't sue me. But what I'm trying to say is when someone is what I'm trying to say is, okay, let's get this all cleared off. Jimmy was making a rocket because his was getting old, trying to make a new one, but he was trying to get some new parts. Or so he found Sheen's old card, and so he called Sheen. So Sheen went to the rocket and ignored the signs because Jimmy accidentally made a mistake. It accidentally didn't know that Sheen would actually do that. So instead of blasting off into space, he blasted through the roof. Goddard and Jimmy got back. Jimmy told Goddard to take out all the fires, saved Sheen, but Sheen is currently fighting for his life in a coma, like Earl did in My Name is Earl when he recreated the show called The Hickeys. Dorcas represents death because in every episode, Dorcas tries to destroy Sheen, but he doesn't. And so every episode, Sheen wins. And the slug represents the recreation of the real Carl from Sheen's mind, and the blue girl represents Libby. And the represents Jimmy because of evolution and because as it's a recreation from his conscience, since Jimmy was always about science and junk, and so he figures evolution. So every time when the monkey dude is fixing the rocket, it's Jimmy trying to bring Sheen back. All because of the little mistake he made. He's trying to fix the mistake. Mind blown, mic drop. Please subscribe and like. Hope you like the video. Please don't sue me for showing other people's videos and, But at least I was trying to say that Jimmy wasn't trying to kill Sheen. He was trying to fix Sheen by helping him come back from his mind. Guess it really is a planet Sheen. Like, subscribe, and I'll do more theories like this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And please don't sue me. Bye.